What's up, guys? It's Mike with Travel Nursing Classroom, bringing you unbiased travel nursing advice. As always, today's no different. Got an awesome video where we're going to be covering the 3 signs/reasons that will tell you if you're really cut out for travel nursing or not. And the whole point of this is for you, the travel nurse, to really decide, okay, am I really going to be cut out to do this whole travel nursing thing? So as a recruiter, we would hear all sorts of different reasons. Actually, that's one of the very first questions as a recruiter that you would ask, or that I would ask all my travel nurses. And if you have a good recruiter, they're going to be asking you the same question. Why do you want to travel? And they're going to ask you this for probably 2 reasons. Number one, if they're a good recruiter, they're curious. They want to get to know you. It's a good conversation. Why do you want to travel? Pretty obvious question there. Number 2, they are actually, believe it or not, most likely qualifying you. That's right. They've already started to try to figure out how much of what quality of travel nurse you're going to be. Are you going to be a solid candidate? Are you in this for the long term? What's your reasoning you want to actually try this whole travel thing? So we've heard all sorts of reasons across the board. There are some common reasons why travel nurses travel. And in fact, just recently, Travel Nursing Classroom took a poll of a group of nurses and asked them why they traveled. So quick few stats on that. 32% of travel nurses said they travel because they want to visit new places. Pretty obvious one. You could probably guess the second one too. 26% of the nurses polled said they wanted to make more money. Of course, who doesn't want that? And 17% said they wanted to meet new people. Of course, another benefit. 14% said they wanted to explore places to move someday. So maybe the younger nurses looking for somewhere to get to land and start a family or whatnot. 8% said they wanted to learn new skills and build their resume. Travel nursing certainly can do that. And 3% said something else. And so typically that 3% is one of the 3 topics that we're going to cover here today. And as a recruiter, if I heard any of these 3 things as to a reason why a nurse was traveling, it was always a little bit of a red flag. So let's jump in. The very first sign that will tell you if you're cut out for traveling is if you have jumped from job to job, specifically in your little area. So as a recruiter, we're going to be looking at your resume, and we're going to know pretty good idea on how many hospitals are in your town. And so if I am a recruiter and I see your resume and you've worked at all the hospitals in your town and you've kind of jumped around every year or 2 or a few months, whatever it is, that's kind of a red flag, because that kind of tells me, okay, maybe this nurse can't keep a job. Maybe she's confrontational, who knows? But as a recruiter, I'm definitely going to ask, hey, why have you been jumping around from job to job in your specific town? And that kind of tells me that you might be out of options. So now you're willing to, since you can't find any work in your town there, you might be willing to go to a nearby town just a couple hours away. So we're going to definitely ask you about that. So if that is you, that might not be a good reason to travel. Travel nurses are supposed to be open and willing to explore new things, new places. As we just heard, most travel nurses want to meet new people, see new things, or make money. That's fine too. But if you're jumping from job to job and you're just looking for travel as a getaway, might be a little bit of a red flag there. Number 2, second reason, this probably isn't any big surprise, but believe it or not, we would hear all the time as recruiters, someone that hasn't left their home before and they get homesick. So if you are one to get homesick, no surprise, you probably shouldn't travel. So you need to make sure, ask yourself, do you have a family that you're okay being away from for an extended period of time? Have you ever tried that? Have you ever been out of your state or region? Are you okay with big cities or coasts or certain weather? If you haven't experienced those things before, you're going all in. You're going to live in a certain location for 3 months or longer. So make sure you truly, truly know what you're getting into. So ask yourself, are you okay being away from family, pets, your little region or area for a long time? And the third and final one, this is a big one, and we've kind of already touched on it, but as a recruiter, it is a big red flag if a nurse will not go more than a couple hours from home. You've got a lot of nurses that will say, I kind of want to try this and get into it, so I only want to go a couple hours from home. That's fine. You can certainly do that. There are some tax implications. We've got another video on that, and actually just released a podcast, an interview with Joe, a tax professional at Travel Tax. And we get into the whole 50-mile rule, which actually there's no such thing as the 50-mile rule. It's actually a myth. But long story short, there's a lot of tax implications if you commute to work, essentially, if you just drive to your assignment, which is just an hour or two away, and then drive back home. So make sure you really, really know what you're getting into. A true traveler is okay with going to a couple different spots, a couple different states. That's fine if you want to stay regional, but travel nurses really need to be gone away from home to receive the full benefits for extended periods of time. You're not probably considered a travel nurse if you just drive an hour or 2 hours and then come back home after your shift. So guys, those are the 3 signs. If you jump from job to job, if you get homesick, and if you're not willing to go more than a couple hours away. So last 2 things here quick. First of all, subscribe so you don't miss next week's amazing video. As you can see on the list here, there's a bunch of other videos we've got listed, so check any of those out. A lot of good content there. And lastly, question of the day. I want to hear from you guys. We already took a poll and have heard some of the major reasons why people travel, but I do want to hear from you. What motivates you to travel? Is it money? Is it new places? Is it people? Is it something else? Please let me know, and thank you so much, guys. Take care.